Welcome back to another episode of Positive Solutions for Life. I'm Peggy Meyer, and today we're diving into a message that every single one of us needs: the real soul level cost of our hurry and how we can reclaim joy by slowing down. This episode is a book summary of Slowing Down to the Speed of Joy by Matthew Kelly. And let me tell you, this isn't just a book about doing less, it's about living more. So let's take a deep breath, unclench our jaw, relax our shoulders, open our minds, and begin. The book begins with the jar of life. You probably know it, the one with the rocks, pebbles, sand, water. It has been used to teach about time management for a long time, and I've even used it when teaching about time management. The takeaway from this story is to do the most important things first, the rocks, then fitting in the other things, pebbles, sand, and water, the other things you need to do or are important in your life, into the jar. And we've been tricked into believing that if we could just manage our time better, the hustle harder, or color code our calendars, we can get everything done. We live under relentless pressure, urgency, deadlines, expectations, and distractions. We convince ourselves that if we just learn better time management or prioritization, we can somehow squeeze more into the jar of life. But Matthew Kelly says it's all a lie and challenges us to think differently about this jar of life story. We are never going to fit everything into the jar of life. Not because our jar is too small, but because we constantly add more things to the jar and more things to do, more things we think are important that we have to get done. And the jar overflows. Matthew Kelly challenges us to think differently. Life is never about fitting everything in. It is about choosing what truly matters. What is the cost of trying to get it all done, to fit it all into the jar? The cost is our joy, our attention, our relationships, our presence, our souls. Busy, as Kelly says, is not a badge of honor. It's a tyrant. Busyness leads us down a predictable path where we end up feeling overwhelmed, weary, discouraged, resentful, and inadequate. Busy is a destroyer of joy, a thief of clarity, a barrier to love, and a numbing agent that keeps us from facing our real lives by looking within and seeing what we really need. The faster we go, the less we see. Go fast enough, and everything becomes a blur. Life just passes so quickly by us, we don't even recognize it. Matthew Kelly asks us to think, why are we so busy? What are we afraid will happen if we slow down? What is most likely to crash and burn first if we do not slow down? Our marriage, our health, our faith, our finances, our mental well-being? What crashes first when we're just spinning so fast? Every one of us reaches a point where God whispers, or sometimes shouts at us, slow down, pay attention. Someone is asking for your heart. Matthew Kelly challenges us to shift how we view the speed of joy. The speed of joy is not the opposite of fast. It's not laziness. It's not checking out of life. The speed of joy is deliberate, intentional, discerning, wise. The speed of joy is the pace at which human beings flourish physically, emotionally, spiritually, relationally. It's the speed at which love can exist. Sometimes joy is slow. Sometimes it is fast. Sometimes joy is focused and productive. It's an attitude we approach the day and others with. The speed of joy allows us to be present without being rushed, engaged without being frantic, productive without being overwhelmed, attentive without being scattered. It is a rhythm that allows us to see others clearly, hear God deeply, and experience life vividly. Joy cannot be hurried. Hurry makes us miss the needs of the people right in front of us, and even the needs inside ourselves. We don't hear them. We don't see them when we're hurried. And love cannot be hurried. Love is the great human mandate. Jesus calls us to love him, love our neighbors, and love ourselves. Love says, I see you. I hear you. You matter. You can't rush that. The author reminds us that Jesus was never in a hurry. He walked slowly enough to see people, hear people, and heal people, often in the middle of interruptions. He was fully present wherever he stood. He was calm, patient, attentive, grounded. His life was a series of holy interruptions, and he welcomed them. But for us, interruptions feel like a personal attack, threats, annoyances, obstacles to get things done. They feel like one more thing, and we get irritated, resentful, and short-tempered. I know I have. How about you when you get interrupted? But Matthew Kelly reminds us we handle interruptions poorly when we have no margin. So what's margin? Margin is the distance between your load and your limits. It's the breathing room that makes life sustainable. It's the buffer between activities, between the to-dos. It's knowing where your limit is, your breaking point. Most of us are living on the edge of our breaking point, overscheduled, overcommitted, overextended. We assume and schedule our life like it should run at optimal conditions all the time, like nothing ever will go wrong. But real life is unpredictable. Kids get sick, cars break down, emotions shift, people need us, we get interrupted. Without margin, we break. But with margin, with breathing room, we flourish, we grow patient, we respond instead of react. We can see what God is doing instead of racing past it. This book encourages simple grounding reminders. One day at a time. Keep it simple. First things first. Cultivate gratitude. This too shall pass. Honor your limits before your limits force you to. And the acronym HALT. Never let yourself get too hungry, too angry, too lonely, or too tired. Margin is where wisdom grows. It's where love becomes possible. It's where joy emerges. Kelly presents the one thing that will change your life, that will get you your joy back. What is it? Take back your Sundays. I know, you're about to turn this off, but hear me out. Really, what happened to Sunday? We traded our Sundays to get more money, more stuff, more things to do. We lost rest, and in turn, we disrupted our rhythm of life. It knocked us out of harmony with ourselves and left us confused and anxious. Take back your Sundays. Take a real Sabbath. Sabbath means to stop. It's not church and laundry and this and this and this. It's not a catch-up day. Sundays are not a prep for Monday day, but Sundays, the Sabbath is an actual stop. Sabbath is not simply a break from work. It's a spiritual rhythm God embedded into creation itself. Remember, he created 6 days, and then on the seventh, he stopped. Sunday is a day to stop, to breathe, to rest, to reconnect, to realign, to remember what matters, to delight in God and in one another. Sabbath is our weekly invitation to slow down to the speed of joy. And here's the miracle. When you honor the Sabbath, when you take back your Sunday, the other 6 days get better. You work more effectively, you think more clearly, you feel more grounded, you become more loving because life isn't just whizzing you by. It's just not another day in your life. Sabbath teaches you to live the other 6 days at the speed of joy. I'm not saying, and the author doesn't either, that it has to be an all-day affair because reality, we haven't done it for so long, we don't know what to do. So start small. Take an hour out of your Sunday just to rest, relax, reconnect. Maybe 2 hours or 4 hours of true rest and reconnection can change the tone for your entire week. And while you're resting on Sundays, whether it's an hour or two or four, or even if you can fit in the whole day, ask yourself, what do I truly want? And is what I want helping me flourish or slowly draining my joy? We all have desires. We all want things, but not all of our desires and wants are good for our soul. The right desires are the ones you can't buy. Things like love, meaningful relationships, leisure, gratitude, wisdom, beauty, quietness, joy, contentment, dreams, and God, hearing God in our lives. Most of the world tells us to want more, more, more. You gotta have more. But Matthew Kelly says the secret of life is to want the right things. Want the right things that make you and others flourish. Wanting doesn't mean we need more. Remember, he said want the right things. But often we equate that to more. And more often leads us to questioning if we are doing enough. But guess what? We are terrible at enough. We overschedule, overconsume, overthink, overwork, and overdo. There is always more we can do. Just like the jar of life, we cannot fit everything we think we need to do into the jar. There will never be a big enough jar to hold all of our to-dos. So, how can we live at the speed of joy? One is to take back our Sundays. Another is gratitude. Gratitude turns what we have into what is enough. It slows us down. It puts our hearts back in order. So ask yourself, what do I have enough of today? What am I grateful for? What is the best thing that happened today? This is being content. Contentment is built from two things, enough and gratitude. Enough of the right things plus gratitude about them equals contentment. So to live more, we need to slow down to the speed of joy. Joy lives at a human pace, not a hurried one. Let your life be one where you breathe deeper, you love slower, you listen better, you savor more, you rest regularly. You wake up some mornings and say, I don't need anything more. You are allowed to stop, to rest, and to live lightly. You are allowed to flourish. And I hope truly that one day soon you'll wake up, have breakfast, and simply decide what you're going to do today. That is freedom. That is joy. That is life at the speed God designed for you. The speed of joy. Thanks for listening to the book summary I put together for Matthew Kelly's book, Slowing Down to the Speed of Joy.